What makes a game feel real? Is it the crunch of gravel underfoot, the flicker of shadows cast by a broken street light, or even the way your character fumbles through a load or even fix a jammed weapon under pressure? Realistic mechanics immerse us, but at the same time, they don't always or even really need a hyper-realistic setting to shine. Let's start with what I mean by realistic mechanics. These are elements that mirror real-world behaviors and constraints, such as leading around corners, managing weight, or feeling the tension of suppression from precise fire. Take SCP Pandemic for an example. Every bullet matters, reloading takes time, and recoil isn't just a minor inconvenience. It's a challenge. These details ground the player in the experience, creating a sense of authenticity. But at the same time, look at the environment. You're battling anomalies in an underground facility straight out of a fever dream. The setting is far from anything realistic, but the mechanics, they're just as grounded as any other tactical shooter. Because these mechanics aren't about mimicking reality for its own sake. They're about creating tension, weight, and of course, realism. When you pair those realistic mechanics previously mentioned with an unreal setting, something amazing just happens. Take Beautiful Light for example, a game where the environments feel like you're walking through a stalker-like forest. And one standout feature about the game is its immersive HUD that is seamlessly integrated into the character's arm. This subtle, yet something that is not new, because games like Metro already did this, games like Stalker already did this, and even Fallout does this as well. Even though it's nothing crazy, even though it doesn't change the gameplay, it's so nice to look at and just makes you feel more immersed in the game. And those are honestly just visuals. It's nothing crazy, but the mechanics, they're almost as realistic as any other game in the market. And honestly, the cool thing that they do is when your character gets injured, you start to have tremors, which is something so subtle, it's nothing crazy. They don't introduce a whole new system of trying to fix pain or what pain type you get when you get shot in the leg or arm, but it's still so immersive. Because at the end, think about it. The mechanics are realistic. Sure, but navigating a glowing otherworldly forest with limited supplies is honestly far more gripping than if it were just another generic realistic woodland. The surreal setting amplifies the impact of the mechanics, making every decision feel monumental although you're just a speck in the game's world. And of course, if we're talking about something realistic and something out of a fictional book, games like Stalker blur the line between realism and the unreal. Its post-apocalyptic setting is hyper-detailed and grounded, but it's filled with anomalies that defy the laws of physics. Here, realistic mechanics are crucial. They anchor you in a world that's constantly trying to unanchor you. But this balance is what makes Stalker so memorable. These mechanics ground you while the surreal elements keeps you questioning what's possible. It's proof that even in hyper-realistic worlds, a touch of the unreal can just elevate the whole experience. Even though Stalker features anomalies that can kill you within moments or even transport you to a personal hell, and also has anomalies as big as trucks and even can get you high, the real challenge often lies in simply running out of food, money, and of course, ammunition. So why does this work so well? Well, it's because realistic mechanics resonate with us on a primal level. They feel intuitive, familiar, but when they're placed in an unfamiliar world, they're gonna be forced to adapt. This contrast challenges our instincts and keeps us engaged. Let's take a closer look at another game called GTFO. Unlike some of the other games I mentioned, its mechanics aren't hyper-realistic. Instead, the game captures the feeling of realism through its gameplay design. In GTFO, going in guns blazing isn't just a bad idea, it's almost a goddamn death sentence. The game forces you to think tactically, communicate with your team if you have one, and plan every move carefully. This creates a sense of dread and caution that feels incredibly real. And that's why GTFO is so good. By making the players fear the consequences of carelessness, GTFO mimics the tension and stakes of real-life scenarios. It's not just the mechanics themselves that create realism, but how they shape your behavior in the game's unforgiving world. Counting together with your friends before smacking a monster to ensure you'll kill it instead of pissing it off, and carefully preserving ammo so you'll have enough for the next horde. These moments compel the players to think and actually strategize, because most co-op games or even PvE games just makes you turn your brains off when you have friends, just have fun. But GTFO specifically makes you strategize, and having friends is sometimes not just enough. When the world feels unreal, every realistic action we take becomes more impactful. Reloading, conserving resources, or even choosing when to fight and when to flee, these decisions feel weightier, because they're happening in a place that defies our expectations. Heck, even though you did everything right, even though you cooperated, you won't even know if you're gonna survive unless you survive. And that's why games with realistic mechanics don't need to be set in a realistic environment. Because it's not about simulating reality. And I'm not saying that games that do put realistic mechanics and realistic environments together is bad, because games like Squad isn't trying to make you feel like you're fighting in an alien world. It's trying to simulate fictional battles using real-world countries. Similarly, how Ready or Not tries not to make something crazy. It's not trying to put you in a fictional world. It's not trying to put you in City 17. It's trying to put you in the boots and in the gloves of a police officer trying to handle real-world problems. Because their main goal isn't trying to make you feel like you're a Metro cop in City 17 fighting off rebels or vice versa. No, it's trying to make you feel that even though if your enemies are drug addicts, even though they're terrorists, or even though you're going to see stuff like child exploitation, they're just going to let you handle it whether you're ready or not. But I'm getting a little bit off topic here. At the end, it's about creating an experience that feels grounded, engaging, and meaningful. Whether you're battling anomalies in SCP Pandemic, navigating the surreal landscapes in Beautiful Light, or even surviving the harsh mysteries of Stalker and coordinating survival in the claustrophobic depths of GTFO, at the end, sometimes when you're immersed in a game where the mechanics feel real but the world feels anything but, remember, that's the point. It's the blend of the real and the unreal that makes gaming truly special. And hey, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I just want to say thank you. And if you enjoyed the video and if you feel like I earned your subscription, you know what to do. And this is kind of my first serious video. I'm trying to copy or take inspiration from Rilo, if you haven't noticed yet. But if you have any ideas on what topics I could cover, do let me know. And if you have any ideas on how I could improve my scripts, because as of now I feel like sometimes it just feels weird to listen and I don't really feel like I'm sending the message or the point clearly. But still, if you have any ideas on how I could fix all of those, do let me know in the comments, and I'll see you beautiful people next time.